Hi everybody, my name is Leanna if you're new, and today I thought I would do an updated skincare video. It has been a while since my first skincare video, and I've added a couple new products since then and thought of some other points to bring up since then. Of course, everybody's skin is different, and I know I'm pretty lucky in the skin department. These tips might not work for everybody, but it's just what has worked for me and my skin. So with that being said, let's get started with the video. Of course, the first tip is going to be exercise. Like, duh, it's me. Of course, I'm going to be that super annoying YouTuber that you watch that always preaches exercise and endorphins and just like moving around. But seriously, it's a thing. Dr. Marisha Garshik, a New York dermatologist, said, and this is a direct quote, "Exercise, by getting the heart rate up and improving blood circulation, can help to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the skin, which keeps the skin healthy, promotes collagen production, and promotes new skin cells, which keeps the skin looking glowing, and is also helpful for anti-aging." So there you go. Plus, exercise just makes you feel good about yourself because of the endorphins, so there's literally no reason to not exercise if you are able to. My next skincare tip is to eat healthy and drink a lot of water. Now, I really like my junk food, Oreos, pizza, chocolate, just that's my weakness. And I think it would be really boring to restrict yourself for the rest of your life just so you can look good, because beauty does fade over time, and I'd rather allow myself some sweet indulgences every once in a while than never so. So you gotta have a balance, but in order to have good skin, you do have to eat healthy the majority of the time just so you can get the right nutrients. Sugar can actually make you break out, and I find that whenever I eat too much sugar, I tend to get some pimples all over my face, and my sister gets eczema. Too much sodium also isn't good for you. The daily recommended intake is 2,300 milligrams, and that's actually very easy to exceed, especially if you have any processed foods whatsoever. So I would just really pay attention to the nutrition labels of the food that you eat and just try to avoid processed foods in general. Some people like to eat healthy during the week and then indulge in whatever they want on the weekends, and so you just gotta find something that works for you. As for the amount of water you should be drinking, it should be based on your body weight. At first I thought it was 64 ounces a day, but I looked it up again and people are actually saying that's a myth, and it does make sense that it should be based on your body weight instead, as opposed to just a flat number for everybody. So I believe you should be drinking between half an ounce to an ounce of water per pound of your body weight. So if you're 150, then you should be drinking 75 to 150 ounces of water a day, and you should be good. I have this 40-ounce water bottle that my boyfriend got me, so I try to drink 2 of these a day, which is 80 ounces, which is good for me. And whenever I fail to drink this much, I find that my eczema flares, so that's really annoying. So I actually do have a timer set in the middle of the day reminding me to go downstairs and refill my water bottle, because sometimes I can just get sucked into looking at my computer and just forget to drink water. So let's drink some water right now. Lately I've been putting hot water in that thermos and then pouring it into this mug so that I can have hot water and just slurp it and not have to like drink hot water directly from the thermos. But yeah, more water means more pee, and that means more waste being flushed out of your system. That has to be a good thing. It is also possible to drown by drinking too much water, so don't drink too much water, but drink enough. My next point is that I never touch my face. I never touch my face unless I just washed my hands like 2 seconds ago. When I do my makeup, I wash my hands beforehand. When I apply false lashes, I disinfect the lashes, then I disinfect my hands. I'm literally so neurotic about this. I think it's because when me and my sister were younger and we would go to my grandma's house and we would have dinner, she would make us tie back our hair and wash our hands, and if we touched our hair or our clothes on the way to the dinner table from the bathroom, then we would have to wash our hands again. So now it's just instilled in me to be super clean. This habit of like never touching my face has really been helpful in this whole COVID pandemic where you're not supposed to be touching your face at all. And for that I am grateful. Something that also touches your face a lot is your phone, especially if you use it to call people. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I was on a voice call where it required me to press my phone on my face. I've mainly been talking to people over Zoom, but even still I make sure to wipe my entire phone down with some rubbing alcohol at least once a day. I like having my phone in bed with me, and it's just been really cold lately, so I kind of stay in bed looking at stuff on my phone in the morning for a couple hours, and you don't want to invite a dirty phone into your clean bed, so I always clean it right before I hop in at night, and that way I know that my hands and my phone and my pillowcase, which I sometimes put my phone on, are all clean. And you especially want your pillowcase to be clean because that's where you put your face. Speaking of your pillowcase, I think you should change your pillowcase like every 2 weeks, I think is a good rule. I've been doing it every week and washing it with my weekly load of laundry, and it's something that I don't really have to think about. So I love makeup and I wear it very often, and I like to try out new products. When I do get new products, I always skin test it first. I swipe a little bit of the product on my freshly washed hand so I don't contaminate the product. And so far I haven't had any bad experiences with new products, but you never know if a product, especially one that you haven't tried before, has something in it that you're going to react to, and if you're going to break out or have a rash, it's better to have it on a little patch on your hand than all over your face. So I always skin test. Also, makeup expires, just a PSA for whoever didn't know that, because I didn't know when I first started wearing makeup. But yeah, it expires, and you can look it up to see when you should throw away certain products like cream blush, liquid lipstick, powder, etc. Some products last longer than others. I'm pretty diligent about changing a mascara every 3 months, just because there's a bunch of like little bugs in your eyelashes, and you know, it gets all mixed up in your mascara, and it's just kind of gross to think about. So I'm pretty diligent when it comes to mascara. But of course, I know makeup is expensive, so what I do to extend the life of my eyeshadows and my pressed powders is to firstly wash my makeup brushes every 2 weeks, so you're not constantly putting the bacteria in the palette and then on your face, and then the bacteria in the palette on your face. If you want to be really diligent, you can clean your makeup brushes every time. That way you keep your palettes really clean. But washing them every 2 weeks works for me. Another thing that I like to do is to spray some rubbing alcohol over the pans of shadow and just wipe off the top layer, and then I feel a lot better about keeping it for longer than I should. Like if an eyeshadow palette hit its 2-year mark and I don't want to throw it away, then I just kind of like clean off the top layer and I'll just like keep it for a little longer. But the general rule is that you should pay attention to them. If they smell different or the texture has changed a bit, then it's time to say goodbye. I know it's hard, especially if you didn't use them to their full potential, but better safe than sorry. So I never go to sleep with makeup on. I always wipe it off completely, and I use these Neutrogena night calming wipes, and sometimes I need 2 of them. When the first one gets really dirty, it's kind of hard to see if I cleaned off everything, so the second one's just to make sure, just to see if there's any residue left. Now the bad thing about makeup wipes is that they're really rough on the skin, since you're kind of tugging back and forth, and it can cause wrinkles, which I have quite a bit of. So lately I've been trying to use cleansers instead. I started using this cleanser from Laneige. It's their milk oil cleanser, and to be honest, I kind of don't really like it. It smells weird and it doesn't really clean that well, but I'm gonna finish it off. I was actually kind of suspecting it was making me break out a little bit, but then again, that week I was also eating a lot of Rice Krispies treats, so the mystery remains unsolved. But it's good to use an oil cleanser to take off your makeup and follow it up with a foaming cleanser afterwards to remove the oil. I don't think it's a good idea to just use the oil cleanser and not follow it up with anything, because it might make you break out, just because it's literally oil. Coconut oil actually works as a good oil cleanser for me. I used up my jar of it, but when I did have it, I would just take my hands and rub off my waterproof mascara, and it worked really well. And then afterwards, I would clean up the oil with a makeup wipe, and because your makeup is already all melted off with the coconut oil, you only need to wipe it gently, and there's a lot less tugging. And then right after that, I would hop in the shower and clean off the remaining oil residue and makeup wipe residue with a foaming cleanser. For my foam cleanser, I really like these ones from Cleansing Story. I believe it's a Korean brand. Korean skincare is on a whole other level, and I've been using this cleanser for like over 5 years, so very reliable, and they smell really nice. They're usually sold in packs of 3, so I can't use them that fast before they expire. So I usually use these cleansers to wash my makeup brushes as well, which, you know, makes sense. The brushes that you put on your face should be cleansed with the same cleanser that you cleanse your face with, even though it sounds a little wasteful to use a face product on your brushes, but I'm actually being resourceful since it would go to waste once they expire anyway. If I had it my way, this would be the only cleansing product I had, but on its own, it's not that great at removing makeup if you just use your hands, since your hands just graze the surface of your skin without really getting in there. I've seen those spitting face brushes before, but they just look too rough, and my skin is really sensitive, so I've never been attracted to the idea of those. But I just got this little handheld face brush, and let me tell you, it has been life-changing. I tried it in the shower with my foam cleanser the other day, and it took off so much makeup. It really helps you get in there with the little silicone bristles and stuff. I was really impressed. But when I came out and used a makeup wipe just to double check, there was still a teensy bit of makeup left, but honestly I didn't really mind cleaning up the residue since there was so little of it, and because there was so little left, it didn't really require that much tugging, so I'd rather use the makeup wipe as the final sweep instead of the initial cleanse, because it's just too rough on the skin. But I really hate the makeup wipe residue, so I always wash my face with cold water afterwards to clean it off, and then apply moisturizer. This brush is also really good for gentle exfoliation. I have dry and sensitive skin, and I've noticed that sometimes I get these little like bumps on my face, especially around the eye area and nose area, that aren't pimples because they're not red. They're just skin, they're just bumps. And apparently these are called milia, which appears when there's an excess amount of dead skin. And I just wasn't exfoliating because I guess I was lazy or something, or I didn't want to buy new products. I just included exfoliation into my skincare routine, and I've been using this sea salt exfoliator from Innisfree, and it's alright, it feels good, and I've tried to do it a few times a week and focus it especially in the areas on my face where I do have milia, because I don't want to over exfoliate the rest of my face because it's sensitive, and it's kind of hard getting these salt crystals exactly over the right areas, so it's a bit hard to use for my purpose, but it also feels good if you use it for the rest of your body. But with this face brush, since there are so many bristles, the milia on my face is really hard to miss. I just have to go like this. And ever since I've started using this face brush, I have noticed a significant reduction in my milia bumps, so I'm very excited about that. It's very gentle, but just to be safe and not over exfoliate, I'm probably not going to use this every day, just on days that I wear makeup, which is just a few times a week. So aside from cleanser, you only really need moisturizer and SPF. Serums, toners, ampoules, all that is optional really, and it's really up to you to decide what your skin needs, but moisturizer, SPF, and cleanser are the three essentials. My absolute essential when it comes to moisturizer is Aveeno. But the thing about Aveeno is that it's a bit selfish. It doesn't like mixing with other products that you put on top. So this sunscreen that I use, Biore UV, kind of likes to clump up on top of the Aveeno. It's very naughty. But the way I get around this is that I wait for my lotion to completely dry, and then I put it on, or instead of like smearing the sunscreen on your face, you just tap it and it kind of works, but sometimes I'm too lazy to tap it, so it's probably better just to wait for your lotion to dry. The sunscreen is really nice in that it is super light and kind of watery, for lack of a better term, so it requires a lot less tugging when you're applying it, and it doesn't make you look oily, so it's really nice for a daily sunscreen. I got these serum samples from Innisfree. This is their green tea seed serum, and obviously serum is optional, but it just smells really nice and also feels really nice for a pre-moisturizer step. So sometimes after I get out of the shower, I'll put it on before I use moisturizer. Serum is really thin, so you gotta let it seep into your pores and then use moisturizer on top to trap it in. It's not a daily thing for me though. Sometimes I also use these eye masks that my friend got me. These are from Black. I put it on before moisturizer for like 15 minutes, and it just feels really nice as well. I think eye masks are just like serum on a sheet. I think eye masks are the secret to getting rid of your eye bags, or at least certain eye masks are, but it's not really a huge priority for me. I still really believe in keeping your skincare routine as minimal as possible. So for now, you know, I'm not super into it, but maybe when I'm older. But yeah, the eye masks feel really nice, and they just feel like you're really taking care of yourself. It's honestly pretty enjoyable to have them on your face and just like relax on your phone for a while. Now I do have eczema, as I mentioned before, and I think August to like mid-November, my neck was just super flared up. It was really painful. I think the cold weather really did a number on me, and I was putting Aquaphor on it every day, which worked on smaller flare-ups, but it just wasn't doing anything anymore, and drinking water wasn't really doing much either. Each and every day I had to slather Aquaphor on my neck just to not be in pain. It was so bad. I feel really dumb for not knowing about this earlier, but I didn't really grow up using a lot of Western medicine. Like, my mom doesn't really believe in that, so I didn't find out about hydrocortisone cream until my friend told me about it, and you know, now my life has changed. It healed up my eczema rather nicely after a couple days, and it was still a little bit dry, but it was no longer itchy and painful, and putting some regular Aveeno on it was enough, and because my neck was no longer covered in Aquaphor, I could finally start wearing necklaces again, so I'm elated about that. It is a steroid cream though, so you shouldn't use it for more than 7 days in a row. Experts recommend. I actually don't use it too much because I don't want my body to get used to it, but it's great, it's great. While I'm on the topic of dry skin, I like to shower in really hot water, like it needs to be scorching hot, especially these days where I'm waking up to like 45-degree weather. My goodness, it's just so miserable. But taking hot showers can be really stripping, especially if you have dry skin like me, so it's probably best to use cold water if you can, or lukewarm water, but if you really can't, like me, and you have to shower in hot water, then it's recommended you end the shower with cold water, or at least just on your face to close up your pores and constrict blood flow or whatever. So what I do is when I come out of the shower, I wash my face with ice cold water, and this feels really soothing. I noticed that when I just get out of the shower and like I don't wash my face with cold water, my skin skin feels really, really tight, and it's just really uncomfortable. But when I do the cold water thing, it kind of like untightens it a little bit. I also wash my face with ice cold water first thing in the morning, and cold water really helps swelling go down as well, especially if you ate too much sodium in the previous day and your face is just all puffy in the morning. Cold water really, really helps. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!